Okay, we're going to review, find the volume of the cylinder and the sphere and the water and all that stuff that we did a couple of months ago. We'll have a benchmark or a quiz on this on the 13th, which is Wednesday. So we start by finding the volume of a sphere with a radius of 12 centimeters, and I need it to round, so I kind of know what my answer is supposed to be. I just need it to round to that. So volume is pi 4/3 pi r cubed. 4/3 pi, my radius is 12 cubed. So you enter that in the calculator as 4 fraction 3 times pi times 12 caret 3. And we get 7238.2294. Now all of your answers should be to 2 decimal places unless otherwise called for, but we write 4 sometimes to make sure that it's nice and clear. So does this round to here? I think so. So I can show that this number is approximately 7238 centimeters cubed. All they did was drop the decimals. Use this number for any further calculations, because all you were doing this time was just showing that it rounded. All right, second part of the question. These are all interconnected. So we take that same sphere and place it in an empty tank and fill it full of water. I'm looking for the volume of the water. I already know the volume of the sphere. Now I'm just trying to figure out the volume of the water. So volume is pi r squared h. Pi, my radius, is 24 squared, and my height is 60. So we enter that in the calculator. Pi times 24 squared times 60, and I get 108,573.4421. But that's the whole thing, and I just want the water. So I need to subtract the sphere, which is 7238.2294. That number is still in my calculator, so I'm just going to hit subtract 7238.2294. And we get the volume of just the water is 101,335.2127. And when I round that to 2 decimal places, the 2 makes the 1 stay the same. So that's 101,335.21 centimeters squared. So now I'm going to take the sphere out of the tank. That means the water is still in there, the volume of the water, so this is still the same. It's just that the water level drops when we remove the sphere. So I'm still going to use volume. That's the only measurement I have for this. So volume is pi r squared h. My volume I know is 101,335.21. Pi stays the same. It's the same tank, so the radius is still 24 squared, but my height or depth, this is the same as the height, has changed. So then to get h by itself, we divide by pi times 24 squared. Don't forget to use the parentheses to keep your calculator performing its operations correctly. So my height comes out to be, and again, if you don't hear clear, that number is still in the calculator, divided by parentheses pi 24 squared, and I get 56.00. And that's my height, but it's also the depth of the water. So that's 56.00 centimeters. Okay? So then we take the sphere. That means that we're taking all of the information from number 1, because we're still talking about the sphere, and we're going to move that down to C. So I melt it, which means it's the same amount of stuff, and now I'm going to make a cone. And the volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. So I have 1/3 pi I don't know the radius yet, but I know that my height from my question needs to be 54 centimeters. So that means that my volume is the one that comes from that first piece. So that is 7238.223. Can round 23. So then we divide by 1/3 pi and 54 so that those things cancel. So we take that number 7238.23 divided by, don't forget the parentheses, 1/3 times pi times 54. And I get 128.00 equals, don't forget, this is r squared. I need r. So now I have to take the square root of both sides. So in the calculator, the number's still there. Second square root, second answer, key, close the parentheses, and we get 11.31 is our radius. Now the last part. So the surface area of the cone, so surface area of a cone is the area of the bottom plus pi times the radius times the lateral height. So what do I know? I know the radius, I just calculated that. I know what pi is. That means I have to calculate both the area and the lateral height. Let's do the area first. Area of a cone is a circle. That's pi r squared. That's pi 11.31 squared. That comes out to be 401.86 centimeters squared. So now I have my area. And I know my radius, like I said. So now I have to figure out what L is. And the way that we do L is with a right triangle. So I know that the height of my triangle is 54. That's the height of my cone. And the radius is the bottom, which is 1131. So I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the lateral height. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where this is 54 squared plus 11.31 squared equals c squared. 54 squared plus 11.31 squared, so I get 3043.9161 is c squared. And then because that number is still in the calculator, second square root, second answer key right here above the negative, close the parentheses, and I get the square root of that is 55.17 is my C, which is the same as my lateral height. So now I have this number that goes right here, 55.17. And now I can enter that whole thing in the calculator. So 401.86 plus pi, I didn't see any of that, 401.86 plus pi, if I can get this so you can see it, times 11.31 times 55.17, just entering this line into my calculator, gives me a grand total of 2362.1280. And when I round to 2 decimal places, the 8 makes the 2 go up so that I get 2362.13 centimeters squared. All right, you have the opportunity to practice this twice. We will have a quiz on this on Wednesday, which is the day after you watch these notes. Please make sure that you understand how to do this. Do both sides. I'll do it at the end of the period.